make the mechanism work with brake fluid? How?
Watch where he takes off right here.
What on earth is going on here?
We call that a decade in the BMX world right there when you swing yourself around the head tube of your BMX bike. But I don't know what the moto guys are going to want to call it. Either way, call it courtesy of our state. Davey Johnson.
I love it. Put it in the top 10. That is an amazing,
look at that angle.
Amazing trick.
Ooh, he was a little rider. The back end was swabbing out to the right on that one.
I don't. Can you turn with that? Can I ride that motorcycle? Hello? Can a producer get me on that?
I'm gonna have to go down there and go take a good look at that thing. I saw him in the pits yesterday, and I didn't go take a look at his bike. But I'm gonna have to go eyeball that thing right now and find out how the mechanics of that all works. I didn't even think about that until after he made it. I was like, oh yeah, oh wait a minute, your bars aren't supposed to turn.
Maybe we should make more rules. Maybe we should make more inspection. No, absolutely not. Take less rules.
Look at how excited Travis is right now. He's like, hey, you know what? I tried to do that back in the X Games a long time ago, and my bike came apart. 88.33, Davey Johnson, the 23-year-old, now sits atop the standings here.
That was memorable. That was absolutely memorable. I love this competition.
And you don't have to take your second run, by the way. You do get 2 runs, but if you feel that you got what you needed to do out of the way the first time, the rules state you don't have your second run. I'm going to get helmets off. He's hanging out over the red. He's done. He's like, oh, yeah. Do it again.
That is an absolutely amazing trick. That explains the seat stand. That explains all the things being covered. There's a whole lot being swung around on that. I mean, we call it a world's first, the World Games. Yeah, you've never seen that before. And again, that's one of those, I'm on Instagram and Facebook constantly trying to find what's going on. I've never seen anything like that before.
Well, we're about to find out more about what's going on because we're going to send it down to the red once again. He's hanging out there at the staging.
Davey, what the heck do you call that trick?
The Trump turn.
Obviously a man of few words, but you just parked your bike over here, grabbed your heart. That must have scared you.
I was so scared. But when Travis is here, you got to bring out the A game.
Okay. Davey, great job.
Thank you.
Guys.
Let's take another look at it right here. Started off with his feet on the back of the seat and just slingshots himself around the front end of the dirt bike.
Wow.
It rides away like a champ and puts himself in the spot.
What a life. Training all the time, figuring out that trick, doing it on stage, barely riding away from it, and then Lorette Nickel comes, starts talking to you. I have a lot of words to say either.
Yeah, you can come up, you got Travis Pastrana patting you on the back, all smiles and telling you how awesome that was, and then you get your interview with Lorette. But look at how he can't believe this right here.
Welcome to the big leagues, homie. You're going to love it here.
Well, welcome to the big leagues and welcome to the top of the leaderboard as of right now. So we're halfway through the field, so there's only 4 riders left that stand between him and a possible win out here. However, it is not over yet. We still have 4 other riders left to go. 2 past champions in Pat Dowden and Greg Duffy, who are still yet to come here in the run order. Greg Duffy is up next. This guy's done it before. He got the win back in 2016 with a double front flip. Can he do it again? Let's take a look back right now to how he got this in 2016.
Here we go, double front flip. It looks like we're not waiting on this. Double Duffy, we didn't even get up. He just rode out of it. Double front flip. The most insane thing.
My name is Greg Duffy. I am from Churchton, Maryland. I started racing when I was 7 years old. Did all the amateur nationals, went up to the professional ranks. Soon got into freestyle after that.
Greg Duffy, defending champion, coming at it right now.
Oh no, oh no. Oh, throws it away. He just got hung up on the top there.
You don't realize how high he is. That is a hard impact.
We get used to seeing guys crash, but them getting up and walking away is always good.
This is life, and you know, I'm fully pinned, whether I'm on my bike or not. I'm looking forward to the next World Games.
Well, here is your next chance, Mr. Duffy. That was back in 2016. That year was his first ever freestyle competition, and he brought that double front flip. And did you see the landing on that, Micah? He was literally leaning forward, put his chest and gut into the bars and whatnot. I remember watching that happen that night back at the Ricycle Stadium just on the other side of Salt Lake City, and that was just absolutely insane. He went into the history books that night, got himself a win. He needs to beat a top score right now of an 88.33 being held on Davey Johnson.
Oh boy, the ride lifetime running on the moon booter. Throwing edition, we call it the heel clicker. Duffy, I mean, he's an ex-motocross racer. I mean, he put in the time doing, do you know how hard it is to be even a semi-professional motocross racer? You could be the best freestyler in the world, which is kind of proven.
So watch so heel clicker, and then it's almost like he's trying to kick back a little bit because he doesn't put the feet right back on, almost like he wants to go into a Superman.
Yeah, and I don't see any flip levers, so that makes it about 40 times harder to actually get yourself around. As you can see, that's all upper body. Yeah, there's no flip levers there. That is all, he's using his face to get that motorcycle around. That's a creative way to get it done, but the alternative.
Oh, did you see that left foot? Watch that left toe and the left boot.
Yeah,
you won't see it from that angle, but it's fallen off that peg. It's barely hanging on.
And that's what happened on the world distance record jump. We broke an ankle. You can ride away and still break your ankle. Like, those boots are some of the strongest in the business, and still, you're only human, man. Look at that. We describe that color as bald eagle, in case you're wondering.
It's very patriotic. So 86 flat for him. He's going to take another run right here.
Yeah.
What is he going to do this time around? I saw him working on that all weekend since I got out here.
That's a hard trick.
But he heel clicks into it before he's even really dipped down into the front flip. That, to me, is what is so crazy to watch with that trick.
300-pound motorcycle, you have to move it with your wrists. Good luck. What do we got here?
Oh, the front flip, Captain Morgan.
Oh, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Is that how the game is set? What is going on?
You might have just made the quote reel right there.
I mean,
watch out for that back fender, buddy.
You are toying with consequences beyond immeasurable capabilities, doing a trick to make me laugh. I love you, Duffy. It's called the Captain Morgan.
Look at where he's at before he goes in. Did you ever think that you would see someone try to just clown themselves in front of the crowd in the middle of a front flip? That's where we're at. That front flips have become so controlled that you can do that. You can put one foot on the bars, one foot in the seat, your hands on your hips, and look over at people and make eye contact.
That is good. You get out of it. How will you tow with this?
Himself is completely parallel to the ground, and he's looking over at the crowd right there.
I take it back. That's my new Christmas card right there. Please get on my list. Send me an Instagram. Oh my goodness. How is that possible? What is like it's freestyle, right? Thing you want to do is awesome. And this guy, I could win $30,000, or I could front cap, make my friends laugh.
Well, that's good. You know what? The first version was good enough to slide him in second. So it's Johnson, Duffy, Jones. You're 1, 2, 3 as of right now. As we look into athletes staging there, yet again you see that's William Vandenpute, who's coming up next.
Duffy rules. He is so much fun out there. Oh, I'm so glad he's in this contest.
All right, let's check in one more time with Lorette, who's down there with Greg right now.
Greg Duffy is having a great time down here. Was that a Captain Morgan front flip?
Yeah, that was a Captain Morgan front flip. I actually landed one in practice. I was feeling pretty good going into that. Just had the front end a little bit too high and just manualed out of it.
Well, great job. Thanks for making everyone laugh and making eye contact with the crowd.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Guys.
That's what's so baffling to me about that whole thing. He didn't just do it. He held it, and he looked at everybody. He was mean-mugging everybody in the front row. Look at this.
Straight eye contact.
Look at it. And just hold pose. Hey, exactly. Come on. You're doing a front, and you've got your front boot up on the right there.
We do a ton of performance and fairs and all over the world. And that trick is a crowd pleaser. Never in a front flip. The wherewithal to that is incredible.
That one's going to be a camp story to tell for years and years to come. I've seen a lot of crazy things on dirt bikes over the years, but that was entertaining.
I love action
Thank you,
sports.
Greg.
I love action sports because you don't always have to have an answer to why. You don't need the answer. Why? Because it was awesome. That's a good enough reason for anything.
Speaking of awesome, this next gentleman right here, William Vandenpute, the first ever Belgian rider to backflip a dirt bike. Started riding bikes when he was only 8 years old and then started racing motocross back in 1995. He actually has podiumed at this event before. He finished out in second place back at the 2017 installation of the Nitro World Games when it came to FMX Best Trick.
I love the international flair. It's just to watch freestyle motocross progress. I mean, the internet has an awful lot to do with it. It's cool to see that, such an international cast.
So taking a look at our standings right now, Adam Jones sitting in that number 3 position with that 81 flat with the dead body flip. You got Greg Duffy right there with an 86 flat from that front flip heel clicker to Superman. And then Davey Johnson holding that top spot right now. The 23-year-old from Texas brought a brand new one to the Nitro World Games with some crazy customized handlebars to We're calling it the decade, I guess, right?
It has to be a decade. There's no other way around it. That is a BMX trick done on a motorcycle. I assume, is it Bluetooth? Is that how you make the brakes work? I don't understand. How do you shift? There's so many questions.
We're going to have to go down there and figure all that out once we get off air. Either way, call it done and call him your current leader right now.
Spot mod. I love the spot mod. What a crazy, crazy turn of events. If you'd have told me 10 years ago I'd have seen that today, ever. Even if you told me tomorrow it happened yesterday, I'd be on YouTube.
It's unbelievable. And going back to something that Colby Raha said when he was at the host desk with Todd Richards earlier, is that, you know, they're talking about all the crazy things that have gone on in the sport. I'd never say never, because the minute you say never, somebody comes out and does the things that you said about a year and a half later. Look at the progression. Look where we're at right now. Yeah. I mean, the back came around, what, 2001, and then started doing the right side up back flips, and then the double backflip came in, and then everyone started doing double combos, and now guys are throwing doubles and front flip combos like it's nothing.
You're one of the best announcers in the game. Remember when you used to say video game tricks?
Yeah.
You don't say that anymore because we're past that.
I still kind of do, but
we've done things that past even computer programmers can think about on these things. The creativity level, how many ways can you dunk a basketball? About 6. How many ways can you jump this ramp? We're about to find out.
After you think that they've reached the limit, somebody comes out with something brand spanking new, and we've already seen that today out of Davey Johnson, but we still have 3 riders left to go. This Belgian rider is in the chute right now, ready to come out and wow the crowd. I would try to pronounce his hometown, but I would probably butcher that, so we'll just leave it at he is from Belgium.
Yeah, so you know he's a good time instantly. And you can see, you're gonna see sponsors and see like where the guys are riding, like that Masters airbag. Like this guy has access to training facilities that weren't available in the past 5 years. Like with all this progression, and Nitro World Games and Nitro Circus Live have a ton of influence on that. Pastrana obviously pushing the progression through safety has always been his moniker, and because of that, this sport will never not stop progressing.
So lots of things going on out here. It is an action-packed Saturday afternoon out here at the Utah Motorsports Campus for yet another installation of the Nitro World Games. We started things off with Super Hoop flat track racing qualifying. We had some Nitro Rallycross. Now we're in FMX Best Tricks. We've got quarter pipe high air coming up after this, more rally, and then more hooligan flat racing. I can't believe packing all this in a day.
Yeah, they know how to do it, man. Definitely an events company. We're events. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Looks like he was stopping out of 5 handlebars. All right, looking like he's cutting up. What's the difference in life? Like he probably has to put her hand back with B, which is another Sunday.
Gloves coming off. Maybe just kind of got his finger caught on one of the just shredded the glove right there. That got torn pretty good.
Best case scenario. It looked like he was just trying to kick his handlebars. I think that was another Captain Morgan front flip.
I was going to say the same thing. He looked like he was trying to do the captain again in the front flip.
But he just kind of stomps his handlebars. What a ride that was.
So it's a...
Again, it's a joke trick, but done at this level, I love it. I love action sports. I don't
know if we can say that, because there's nothing joking about throwing yourself into a front flip with a 250-pound motorcycle underneath your feet, but...
So what's your...
He didn't go for the hands on the hips on this one. The hands just kind of stayed off to the side.
It's still kind of a cool trick in that. Like, it's sort of a... It's a flatland trick. You ever see when they do the spins where the one foot's on the handlebars? And yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Our flatland friends are going to be mad that we didn't know the name for that.
All 3 of them are very disappointed. Oh my goodness! What a shot to the face he took. Oh no!
And it looked like the left side of the bars might have got him in the lower stomach region right there, but after that slow-mo shot right there, it made that crash look extra gnarly, but Mr. Vandenpute is going to get back up and take his second round. That is one tough Belgian.
I mean, your favorite athlete might do an end zone dance. Mine gets up after falling 7 stories from the sky. This is a tough human being, tougher than any other athlete you will ever see in your life.
Okay, strategy. Do you do that again, or do you throw something else?
You do.
What would you do?
I know in my life, when I fall and do riding, it'll torment me in my nightmares. I have to do it again. I have to pull it, or I can't sleep at night.
Okay, here we go. Attempt number 2 for William Vandenpute.
And
what? Maybe that's what he was trying to do the first time around. He wasn't trying to get the foot up on the crossbar there. He was just trying to get it over.
Yeah, he definitely.
It just got hung up.
He gave it all he got. I mean, when you start taking hands and limbs off while you're spinning, you start slowing down instantly. So I mean, that was way more stretch than the first one. Maybe he went a little bit faster, but if you're going to stretch that far, you got to pin it, brother.
What in the heck is going on here?
I love
Hands come off first in the front flip, then you've got the
It's
right
cool
foot.
style.
I mean, you're not even holding on to the bike.
You know what that is? That's a no-handed candy bar. Think about it.
You know what?
Think about it.
You're absolutely correct.
Shout out Matt Hoffman for inventing the candy bar.
Brian Blyther would have been very, very happy of that assessment if he was listening to the show right now. Look at this!
Oh, that is cool. That's good style, right?
You're holding on to a 250-pound. You're not even holding on to it. It's
No.
resting against the underside of your left boot.
Yeah, so your two big toes on your left foot is holding 250 pounds of a motorcycle. What?
I have to go talk to him after this because I wonder if that's trying to do the first and that foot just didn't get all the way over. He just didn't have enough pop. Either way, that was definitely looking great.
That is a style. Really, we talk about style. It's not something you learn. It's something you either have or you possess, or it's something you want to develop into something. And that was a really unique way of doing that trick. I've never seen, assuming that was a no-handed candy bar, I've never seen that in my life.
Well, he's going to have to settle for 6 right now, so it's still Davey Johnson in the top spot, followed by Greg Duffy and Adam Jones. You're 1, 2, 3 with 2 riders left to go, but we've got a powerhouse coming up right now. This is Josh Sheehan. Before we unleash him here for his 2 attempts, let's learn a little bit more about him right now.
G'day, I'm Josh Sheehan from West Australia. I grew up on an orchard, had a bit of room on the farm, and just always rode motorbikes when I was young. Tricks contest, and it just led to a freestyle competition, lit the fire. Yeah, next minute I'm here. Have progressed so far. We've got a lot more people who double flips. I didn't have to do anything before, but now I step up. It's great. It's pushing the sport, it's pushing us. We keep feeling getting to the end, but new stuff just coming out, or get bigger ramps so we can just get more done on the ramp.
So he had a heck of a crash out here last year. He still walked away with a 3rd place finish out here in this event, but he had a pretty gnarly crash. You saw some slow-mo highlights of it right there, but this guy is a beast. I mean, he's just a monstrosity of a human being, works out all the time, takes great care of himself, so when he bounces off the ground and he gets in these crazy situations, he walks away from it unscathed. He was one of the first guys I ever saw do a double backflip and bounce and get up like it was nothing. And speaking of double backflips,
yes! What on earth? He's the only person to have ever done a triple backflip. The battle he had at X Games 2 weeks ago was memorable, to say the least. He definitely has a vendetta here, where he did a crazy trick last year and whatever. But this man is hungry. This man wants to win. And the height of this trick has claimed careers. This trick has taken a catastrophe on people, and he has the audacity to take his hands off at that height, spot his landing. Can you name a better big air rider than Josh Sheehan?
it's crazy. He gets into that first rotation. He's still coming all the way around for it. Hands are off. He extends it, hangs onto it, gets back to the bars, and then yanks for that second rotation. But it doesn't even look like he's working hard for it. It's just easy for him right there. And the landing was just super, super smooth.
Oh, is that good? Again,
I mean, you would think at that point, once your hands are back on the bars, you're yanking for everything that you've got, trying to get that second rotation around. But no, that was just
casual.
butter.
That's the word. Casual. Like it's just strolling down to get a smoothie. Right?
For him, that would almost be like, okay, I got that one out of the way. Now I'm ready to do what I really want to do, and I think we might get a snippet of what we saw him try last year.
Imagine
I'm going to walk that plank.
Your setup trick has bought houses for people.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
I mean, basically, you just broke it down. Attempt number 2 for Josh Sheehan.
What are you gonna do? Oh,
That's what I thought. Oh, is he going to get it?
Oh, was that close? And again, you might think this is not consequence. This is not dangerous. He just took a shot. He comes from a family of Gold Glove boxers. This man has fought his whole life, whether he liked it or not. He is back on his feet after falling roughly 6 stories from the ground. What an animal.
Not even the height. But on top of that, you're rotating with a double backflip. Just the gravity of the G-forces of that alone, plus the weight of the bike as well, and you're all tangled up with it.
Flip number 1. So you have to now take your feet, put them to the ground. Yep. So your wrists are not holding all the weight. Now you have to get your feet back on the pegs and then crank that second flip around, because if you don't, it's going to be a rough night. And here's where the problem is, just a little under-rotated. The suspension tried to take it. There's nothing he can do. The headshot to remind you you're alive. Yeah, that sucked. Oh, that wasn't fun. What a rough ride for Sheehan.
With the front tire dab, this one will give you a real good look at it right here.
What extension. Look.
Watch the yank. Once he gets back on.
His feet's kind of looking for the pedal, or for the other peg. Cranks it, just putting all the juice he can into the back wheel, hoping it comes around. And, yeah, let's get some sound.
You can hear him just revving out of that second rotation, and at real-time speed from that angle right there, you could see him take that head slap right there on the landing as he slides away. But Josh Sheehan is in that top spot, which was by virtue of the first trick with the double backflip no-hander. So he was in that top spot. He didn't even need to have to come out and do that, or didn't have to come out and do that, I should say. So it's Sheehan, Johnson, and Duffy. That bumps Adam Jones out of the top three. Tough break for Adam, but it's Sheehan, Johnson, Duffy. You're 1, 2, 3 with one more rider to go. It just so happens to be last year's champion, Mr. Pat Bowden. By the way, Josh Sheehan, I've said he finished third last year. I didn't correct myself. It was second.
Yep. Pat's only got big tricks. His trick repertoire is gigantic only. And front flip, Christ air. Yo! Well, that was a thing of beauty.
I got a little scary there. I was like, you get too much pop, and then it throws you a little too far forward on that front flip rotation.
Yeah.
But he made short work of that one there.
Lots away, Playboy. You just made some moves.
His Nitro World Games FMX best trick career has been nothing but podiums. In 2016, it was a second place. In 2017, it was a third place, and then he stepped it up last year and walked out of here with the big win. Look at this, everybody.
I mean, you snap your neck back, it doesn't get any better than that. He loses line of sight, which means he makes the variation. More important than the spin, which is something the judges absolutely want to see. So he snaps off that lip, right? Takes his heels, cranks it back, and watch his head. That's all the difference. The fact he can get 100% or that 90-degree up and down aerial. I mean, there was no lack of extension. I mean, last year he tweaked his body just a hair more on the other end of that trick, but that might be enough, to be honest, to take it away. That is such a unique trick. He couldn't have executed it truly much better. I mean, he has a second go. I don't know if he needs it, but yeah, this guy just eats Nitro World Games trophies.
And I don't know that he's going to have to take a second run right there, because looking at the scoring monitor over here, he's got a 96. We're into the 90s. He doesn't have to even take this second run. He's won this thing yet again. Last man to ride. You get 2 attempts, but why take the? I thought he was going to go.
Nah.
He's just over there.
I get it. You came
waving to the crowd.
You practice all year for this. You just do want to do the one trick. There's no reason to push it. Just go enjoy yourself. Get yourself on that podium. Go talk to the beautiful Lorette Nickel. And
you know what this means?
It's the next one.
In his 4 appearances here at Nitro World Games, he's never not podiumed.
Wow.
He's got a third, a second, and now back-to-back firsts.
Yeah, he is definitely a bright, shiny star in the world of freestyle motocross. Done a bunch of shows with him, but definitely he flourishes in this setting. This one jump super trick contest style format definitely lends itself to Pat Bowden more than anybody else, apparently.
He's also set another record because he's the first repeat winner when it comes to FMX Best Trick here at Nitro World Games. Duffy won the inaugural one in 2016. Harry Bink in 2017. By the way, shout out to Harry Bink. Wish you well in recovery. Harry injured himself in practice yesterday, so we're sending you well wishes, Harry. We'd like to see you back in the lineup soon. And then Pat last year with the win, and he wins it, so our first repeat winner as well. But how about that career?
Yeah.
Here at Nitro World Games.
I mean, that puts him in the likes of Ryan Williams. I mean, I believe he's the only other one to kind of make those moves. But yeah, what a crazy, crazy contest.
Oh my goodness, what an appearance out here by Pat Bowden. Let's check in one more time with Lorette, who is down there with Pat.
Well, the first question that I just asked Pat Bowden was, how high is your heart rate?
It's pretty high.
Now, you told me that you've been working 11 days straight to perform here and do a world's first. Pat Bowden, that was unbelievable. Nitro World Games is here, and it's trying to stretch your comfort levels. How far was your stretch today?
Yeah, that's right. I only had 11 days to learn this first trick. Coming into it, I didn't know if it was possible, and I had so many problems, like thing after thing that I had to overcome, and I just kept pushing. Gave it 150% effort. But I don't win, so these old guys, they got to step the game, you know.
Oh, the gauntlet's being thrown out in the pit stop. here and the guys could hear. But what were some of those challenges that you had to fight through?
My compound's like 4 hours from where I live, so to relocate my facility 4 hours so I could ride every day. I reached the first place. We got shut down by the council because of noise complaints after 1 day of practicing, so we had to load everything up again, transport it another 200 kilometers down the road. And by this time, we were running out of time. I don't even think this is possible, but I've come too far to give up. So yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm so happy right now.
That's unbelievable. Guys, the determination, the strength, and the tenacity of Pat Bowden, your 3-time Nitro World Games Best Trick champion. Congratulations. Back to you.
And he also called out the old guys.
I heard that. I snapped
The
my neck
old
pretty
guys
hard.
got to step it up. That might get a little dicey there once they get back to the pit area, but take another look at it here on the Christ Air front flip.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much better performance. Looking like one of them Olympic divers, you know, holy divers.
Was that a Dio reference you just made right there?
Yes, it is. A holy diver.
Look at you, sir.
Thank you.
like it.
Doing my best. Trying to keep it fun.
Digging deep into your 80s metal roots right there. So I'm going to get you to walk a plank right here. Look at the scoring differential we saw. I mean, Josh Sheehan did a double backflip no-hander. What do you think the judges liked so much about the front flip Christ Air to make that such a huge gap in the scoring?
It's a world's first, and Josh definitely did the double back KOD last year, which almost ripped him naked. He fell so hard.
Yeah, we had a jersey issue last year.
Yeah, wardrobe malfunction. I mean, it was just done as perfect as you can. Pat always wears that white to be seen. I mean, people might think it's goofy and he looks a little different, but...
Speaking of world's first, we had another one with the young man from Texas, Davey Johnson, with what we're calling the Decade Air. We'll have to check in with him and get an actual name for that a little bit later on. Either way, it's never been done before, and he brings it to the party out here at Nitro World Games in 2019. He gets third place. Josh Sheehan walks out of here in second this year, and FMX Best Tricks with this double backflip no-hander, making it look way, way too easy, Micah.
Yeah, I mean, the extension, the way he just stays not tucked. If you see his hips go to his handlebars, he's in trouble. He is in a nice, relaxed, comfortable position, just like he's riding down the street, man. That is intense.
But when it's all said and done, the day belongs to Pat Bowden, bringing another never-been-done trick to the event.
Man, to take your hand off the landing, and he says he's a training facility. This ramp doesn't exist. He can't train on this ramp. So he had to come out here, now learn the 11 days of the trick, now contort it to what this ramp is, what this landing is, what this angle is. Props for the hard work, props for the tenacity and being brave, and that is a really, really beautiful stunt.
I mean, it doesn't get any better looking than that, and it puts that one down butter smooth, and it lets him walk out of here with the win. That's 2 years in a row. Our first repeat winner was the FMX Best Year at the Nitro World Games.
Yeah, look at that. We got a beautiful girl. Give her a trophy. All the hard work is about.
Johnson for third place right there, getting his trophy, standing on the podium there. And again, that decade, that was wild. And I'm going to have to go take a look at his bike because I want to know what happened. What he did to the bars to make that work.
It's neat to see technology progress the sport. I love seeing it.
Back-to-back years defending his 2018 championship here in Utah. Let's give it up for Pat Bowden winning gold at Nitro World Games 2019.
Check out that podium.
That's hitters right there.
Just think about what just happened here. Your podium in 2019 for Best Trick. You've got a decade. You've got a double backflip no-hander. And you've got a Christ Air front flip.
Let's go down the list. First place, world's first front flip variation, unbelievable. Josh Sheehan, second place. The trick he tried is arguably the most dangerous, scariest trick ever that he fell on, the double flip KOD. Third place, world's first. You want to play in this game, there's your level.
Yeah, you've got 2 world's first, and one of them is only good enough to get you third place out here. That was absolutely ridiculous. What an amazing competition out here. Your final thoughts before we say goodbye for this part of this, because we got to get ready for the next one.
I'm excited to see what happens in Wales. It's going to be a whole different demographic, whole different crew. It's going to be good.
So here it is, one more go. Looking at your podium here, your Nitro World Games FMX Best Trick podium here in 2019. Davey Johnson starting off on the seat, brings it all the way around, 360 around the front of the bike. We call it a decade in the BMX world. And, well, you're just not supposed to be able to do that on a dirt bike there, Mr. Kranz.
You are absolutely right, Jimmy.
Josh Ian, what you've called arguably one of the scariest looking tricks in the books, the double backflip no-hander right there, but he puts that one down super smooth. But at the end of the day, it's Pat Bowden who walks out of here with the win with the Christ Air front flip. Look at it.
That is a thing of beauty. What a neat stunt. It's so nuts. There's so many complications that could go wrong. So many parts to that trick that if he doesn't get right, he's going to the hospital.
And he makes it all work out to walk out of here with back-to-back wins out here in FMX Best
Trick at the Nitro World Games.
We are not done with the moto stuff just yet. You see the warm-up taking place right now. It is the return of quarter pipe high air here to the Nitro World Games. We'll let these guys warm up. In the meantime, we're going to send it back over to the host desk and Todd Richards.
All right, well, welcome back to the host set, and we're watching right now just these guys warm up for quarter pipe, which is coming up next. I mean, that is, for me, that's one of the highlights of watching this whole thing. But next to me right now, I have Roland Sands, Steve Arpin. Roland coming out of the flat track event that started us off this morning. I want to get your thoughts, not only on your event this morning, but also on just everything that's occurred today.
It's just a step above everything else. You come out and see tricks you're never going to see anywhere else of front flip captains.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's one of the craziest tricks I've ever seen. The bar spin. We're watching, you know, we're watching this rally cross and guys just sending it like across a 90-foot gap. I mean, it's incredible, you know. So to bring Super Hooligan out
and have it be part of this circus, it means a lot. It's very cool.
Well, let's talk for a second about Super Hooligan. I mean, to the average person that maybe doesn't really know like how it falls into like the between freestyle moto and rallycross, like what is it that draws people to Super Hooligan that are really into it?
I think the coolest thing about Super Hooligan is we're doing something you're not supposed to do. You know, we're out there racing heavy street bikes and we're pushing them to their limits. It kind of is it balances it out, so we can get a guy who's a freestyle guy come out. I mean, guys ride freestyle Harleys, they're riding freestyle motocross bikes. We have road racers, we got rally car drivers, right. Travis coming up, and we got, you know, plumbers and photographers and just kind of people from every walk of life coming out and racing with us. That's what makes Super Hooligan special. It's the mixing pot.
It is very cool. A lot comes down to like traction on these very tight tracks, which leads me to you, Steve. Your forte with the Rallycross, Nitro Rallycross being such a special event here. We were talking earlier before you sat down on the set, just how important this type of event with Nitro Rallycross in particular is to just bringing a spark of life to driving rally cars around dirt courses.
Absolutely. Like everything we did, we worked tirelessly for 9 months in the last off season, and everything was in preparation for this event. This is like our Daytona 500 or Indy 500 or the championship game in the NHL playoffs, right? Like this is the event that steps it up to a whole new level. It's and like what Travis is doing here with Rallycross, there's no more room for traditional Rallycross in America. Like this is wild. Like this is what people want to see. It's so crazy. We're launching over 100-foot gap jumps, big bank corners, like 4 or 5 different lines in every corner. This is real racing. I can't wait to get back out there.
Let's talk about that just as far as like, you know, you roll into this event. Last year was the first time that, you know, Travis debuted this 100+ foot jump. You roll up day one and you look at this and you've got to kind of take Travis for it. Like, yeah, if you just kind of go from here, be fine, but we all know who Travis is, and Travis kind of likes to shove you into terrible situations to laugh. What do you think of like the first time you rolled out here onto this course?
Well, Travis does definitely love to shove you into difficult situations just to laugh. But I pulled up here and it's like, look at this thing. It's absolutely incredible. It's what I've always dreamt of doing. It's like just pushing things to a new limit. Unfortunately, last year we just weren't in a place to be able to jump. We didn't have enough travel in our suspension. But this year we came back with an incredible race car, and it was awesome. Like launching over that thing for the first time was just a thrill that I'll never forget.
Right, that's awesome. I mean, okay, so next up, we just got done with freestyle moto. You talked about that. Quarter pipe is the next big event here, about halfway through this crazy circus out here. Quarter pipe for me, that's one of the highlights of my day, just because I can relate to it from my skate and snowboard background. And it's got to be one of the most death-defying things to watch in person, wouldn't you say?
I mean, it's absolutely insane. One of our hooligan riders, Tyler Behrman, who's riding with us today and has ridden our whole series, we got silver at X, so right. He's here to try and boost that. He wants the gold today. I'm excited to see him go out there, Colby Raha. You know, you got Cole from San Diego's out there riding. Like, these guys, man, their heart is in this thing, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
Awesome. Well, as we look right now at some of the highlights for this from the Super Hooligan event that went down this morning, was there very much drama going on? Or did it go kind of how you expected it to, just for the qualifying round?
You know, it went pretty smooth. We only got 5 guys on the track at once right now for the qualifying heats, and they were qualifying for the Dunlop Dash for cash, and you know, it went fairly smooth outside of our winner, Andy, to backing it in and trying to take out the tire wall, you know, on the cool down lap. So, but that's kind of expected. There he goes right there.
Yeah, right there. What are the wrecks like in Super Hooligan as far as like just stacks of human beings falling all over each other?
It can get ugly out there. I mean, the first corner, we got 13 guys trying to get through that first corner. And a lot of times the guy who leads in the first corner might win the race.
Yep.
So they're fighting for every inch they can get.
Right on. Well, Steve, also, you know, got to talk about some bad luck today with a bit of a tire mishap. But how was the race going? The Fords are looking like they're running very fast today. So did it just kind of catch you by surprise that all of a sudden, you know, it's the little things like the tires that you wouldn't expect to go?
Absolutely. We turned the fastest lap of the weekend yesterday in our second race. Unfortunately, I didn't get that great of a start, but our Fords are strong this weekend. The car, we have plenty of speed. Thankfully, Ken Block's in the race. We're in a qualifying spot both races and cut down 2 tires. Just if there's a little bit of debris out there, I guess it was just not my day, and I went and found it. So,
when you're driving and how soon do you know a tire goes? Because it kind of seemed like for a bit today, watching Ken Block's race, he kind of either he didn't know or didn't care that he had blown out a rear.
Well, he definitely knew, and I think you got a guy like Block who he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
So, but when you blow a left rear, there's a lot of left-hand corners around here, so it's not a tire you're really leaning on.
Right.
So I blew a right rear and a right front, and it just wasn't really something we could recover from. So
Sure.
it's just we're kind of out of it.
Ken jumped that 100-foot gap with a blown tire.
Twice.
Twice. My mind.
Exactly. I was just sitting in my car watching. It's like, that's my boy.
It was unredeemed.
All right, for not jumping.
We just got done with FMX Best Trick. We're going to wrap it up here with us and send it to where the real action is, over there on the quarter pipe. More to Nitro World Games 2019.
From its inception, Nitro World Games exploded onto the action sports landscape, changing the contest world as we knew it. Last year, Nitro World Games expanded with more locations, more events, more athletes, and some of the most epic moments in action sports history, highlighted by the debut of Nitro Rallycross. This year, that expansion continues, and the contest will be the most competitive we have ever seen. From FMX Best Trick to Moto Quarter Pipe to track racing to Nitro Rallycross, it will be like we've witnessed before. Right now, we are keeping the contest going with the biggest ramp ever built in Moto Quarter Pipe. Welcome back, everyone, to the Utah Motorsports Campus just to the west side of downtown Salt Lake City. It is the return of Nitro World Games here in 2019. That 32-foot tall monstrosity right there is what these riders are going to be contending with out here today as we are set to kick off the return of Moto Quarter Pipe out here at Nitro World Games. Look at those flags flying out there. There was a beautiful shot with the Great Salt Lake in the background, and we are set for an epic showdown out here today in Utah, the state of sport. My name is Jimmy Coleman. I'm sitting alongside Micah Kranz. We've got Lorette Nickel in the field, and well, let's talk about how this is all going to work out here today, Micah. We have 5 riders in the field, and well, basically, they're going to go in rounds out here today. Each round, they're going to get 2 attempts. If you're the last guy at the bottom of the rack there, if you're the lowest height, you get eliminated. It's pretty cut and dry right there. No scores. It's all about the height.
That's a great way to do it. We don't need to be measuring this thing. Whoever last guy goes, and whoever goes the highest, all the glory.
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but we'll dive into it here in just a second. We've got Cole Denny, Jared McNeil, Tyler Behrman, Corey Creed, and Colby Raha, your 5
gladiators, for lack of a better term, out here today, because again, that's a 32-foot tall lip right there, and there's a 50-foot height pole up on top of that deck. These guys are jumping basically, I mean, multiple stories into the air. It is absolute insanity. It's just, it's a monstrosity, for lack of a better term. And again, it's a 50-foot height pole. But let's learn more about this thing out here today in the CBDMD course profile.
What up, Colby Raha here. We're here in Salt Lake City, Utah at the Nitro World Games. We're riding the Moto quarter pipe. It's 32 feet tall, 70 feet wide, and we're going close to 80 feet off this thing. Last year I went 77 feet and set a world record. This year looks like it's gonna be even gnarlier. I love riding this ramp. Check it out. This is what it looks like from my point of view.
And Colby retreats this thing like it's just a super kicker. Rides this thing reckless abandon, makes it look so smooth while he's doing it. He is your winner at this event last year. 2018 was the inaugural Moto quarter pipe event out here at Nitro World. But let's not count out Corey Creed. That guy, he got third place out here last year, and they just had this event at X Games a couple weeks ago, and Corey Creed walked out of here with a gold medal. But here we go. We are underway. This is Cole Denny getting the party started here. Again, they're going to get 2 attempts per round right here.
Cole is one of the coolest stories in action sports. Started with an Instagram account where he just kind of built ramps out of matchsticks. People, you know, neighborhoods would drop off cars, and he just built this cool ramp, and which is the neatest stunts ever. Follow that guy, Cole from SD.
Take another look at it right here. Again, you just have to be one of the top heights getting out of these first couple of rounds if you're going to try to put yourself on the podium. The lowest height out of each round does get eliminated right there. So Cole Denny out of San Diego, 28 years young. Look at that. Look at the style.
So they just said that 40 feet won last year. We're already in that ballpark.
45 feet,
Run
2
one.
inches. He
Run
actually,
one.
Colby Raha set a record with that last year. We're at 31 feet, 10 inches is the official measurement that we're getting for Cole Denny right there as we take a look at Jared McNeil coming your way next out of Australia.
Only guy on a 2-stroke riding this event.
Jared, very accomplished when it comes to riding the quarter pipe. And, you know, it's not like there's a lot of these things out there that these guys can go practice on. I mean, this is a relatively new thing to the sport of motocross.
He's got one at the McNeil farm, his own private territory, but it's nothing this big. Here we go, the 2-stroke. It whips a little differently. That's all right. Yep, stay safe. Definitely stay safe. You're going to get a couple more chances at it. Jared is such a unique rider. He rides so differently. He's not your stock trick guy. He's just like malleable is the word about him.
He'll get one more at it right here as we take another look. And look at that inverted style right there. And he just kind of turns that left shoulder down. And I mean, you're inverted at that point on a 250-pound machine. And he looked a little tentative, though.
So
in the run-up compared to what we've seen out of him in the past?
There is a difference between the 2 strokes and the 4 strokes. You can not only the sound, but when they're in the air, he told me it whips around faster, and it's a little bit weirder to get around. This man is a motorcycle legend in, what, his 20s? Unreal.
27 years old out of Templeton, California. This is Tyler Berriman.
Yeah, he's got X Games medals. He's a hooligan racer. His dad also a hooligan racer. This man, if it has handlebars, he's really good at it.
I've watched him in practice this week as well. Him and Corey Creed have spent a lot of time together training on this quarter pipe. Here we go, attempt number 1 for Tyler Berriman.
It is going to the moon!
It's just so wild because you get inverted and you're at the apex of the jump and then you just drop out of the sky. But watch the landing point for these guys when we look at the slow-mo on the replay. Look at where they put the wheels down just under the lip.
This is my favorite one to listen to because the engine stops. When you go that high and you're falling into earth, you can't adjust. You're just falling down. You can't go forward, back, side to side. You're going straight down. The engine won't help you. You can't. There's no reason to whiskey throttle. You have no choice. You better lay it down straight.
I have no idea how they just
stand
off and then they tuck themselves back in and just drop right under the lip.
You were on that ramp for the Matt Hoffman infamy picture, correct?
I was not.
Okay, but that's the view, right? Is that not it?
Yeah.
Is that not the Matt Hoffman, like, we're doing something no one else has done. Let's see how high we can get on this structure built in a desert. I mean, that ramp looks like a brontosaurus just kind of laying down.
It's a monolith out here in the salt flats. And here we go, 37 feet for Tyler Berriman. Now again, each round of competition, they're each gonna get 2 runs. And if you're the lowest height, you do get eliminated from that round. So you just, maybe you can save a little bit here in this opening round. You just don't want to be the bottom guy.
Right, definitely. It's kind of like if the bear's chasing you, don't be the slowest.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Corey Creed's an Australian and
an X Games gold medalist, by the way.
He'd like to at least get the height pulled taller. Look at that! What on earth? What on earth?
Picking up where he left off in Minneapolis at the U.S. Bank Stadium out there, that netted him that gold medal at the X Games just 2 weeks ago.
What?
2.5 weeks ago, I should say.
Is going on? A first attempt. Look at the, it's the lowest point of the body, right?
His bike is over, at least from that camera angle, it looks like his bike is over the height pole. And I've said it before, I'm going to stress this a lot. That thing's 50 feet tall on top of a 32-foot lip, everybody.
It's like playing like playing Mario Brothers, trying to jump onto the flag at the end of the level. Like, that's just it. You're trying to get over that thing. But the consequences are real.
Look at the wind meter on top of that thing.
Just going 1,000 RPMs. And Creed just spotting the coping, if there is such thing as coping on there.
It just kind of resets us back. We'll call it noping. How's that?
I mean, it's a lifesaver, man. I saw a couple guys in practice really would have hung up back wheel. And as we've seen from BMX Vert, catastrophe happens. This ramp is just lends itself to progression. It's so forward thinking. It's the biggest one in existence. There's like 3 or 4 out there, a couple in the backyard. But this is the big daddy of them all.
Hey, guess what? What did I tell you the big winning height was last year, the record setter? 45 feet 2 inches.
Yeah.
Guess what Corey Creed just got? 45 feet 8 inches. So we've already broken last year's record.
Wow.
We've already broken last year's record by 1/2 of a foot.
Corey Creed came to America. And
this is the first round.
Eating medals, just eating awards.
So what happens now? This is the bottom part of the run order here. Colby Raha gets to go last. Then everybody's going to one more attempt.
This guy has one of the most extensive BMX backgrounds in the course. I take it back. Cole has a real good one too. But charging quarter bikes on a BMX bike and charging on a motorcycle are 2 completely different animals. There has to be some overflow because it makes it look really good. I think Kobe makes it really well too. When he has him shifting gears, how much speed is he going to bring? Yowza! Oh, I'm still nervous. I'm still nervous.
It's wild for him because when he gets up there to the top, the peak of the jump, it almost looks like the back end's going to keep rotating around to rider's right, but he just drops down and brings that one back in. Now, definitely didn't get as high as Corey on that one, but again, what you need to do here, you just don't want to be, you want to be one of the top 3 heights because the top 3 heights are automatically going to move on into round number 2.
All 5 of these riders are absolute warriors. These are some of the toughest, bravest men you will ever see put a leg over a motorcycle. This is not child's play. These 5 riders are absolutely flirting with consequences for their progression, for your enjoyment. This is absolutely one for the books, Jimmy.
Well, earlier in the day, after Rallycross was wrapped up, or the first edition of Rallycross, I should say, Todd Richards had Colby and Cole Denny up on the set, and they were talking about this, and they were, saying, like, there's no gray area. There's no margin for error on this. You don't want to see it happen, but they're like, if something goes wrong, you're dropping out of the sky from some pretty impressive heights right there. Speaking of Cole Denny, look at that, out there in the ripped-up denim vest. He is just true Hessian style right now.
Style! Here we go. Cole, get up there, buddy. Yes, sir.
Cole sitting there with a 31 feet 10-inch height from attempt number 1. So right now, your top 3 heights, it's Corey Creed, Colby Raha, and Tyler Berriman. So how this works, the top 3 heights automatically advance after everybody has taken both runs. The bottom 2, they are going to get one more chance, or what we call the LCQ. They'll each get one more run. The higher height will move on into the next round, and the lower height will be eliminated.
I just love his style. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a strong proponent of, like, getting racing out of motorcycles. Like, put some freestyle into it. Like, Cole has a BMX background. He's 100% will be the first one.
Oh, and he's rocking the Motorhead patch on the back. Get the spikes on there.
Look at that fashion. He's doing it to scare himself, to have as much fun, and make it freestyle. That is as freestyle as it gets.
31.10 was his best of the 2, so that's going to keep him outside of that top 3 as of right now. So looking like Cole Denny's going to have to go into that LCQ. Jared McNeil looked a little tentative on his first attempt. Here we go, underpowered for attempt number 2.
Look at those baggy pants. He's doing style as well. Yes, Jared. the rest of this year.
Tell another story about Jared, too, at quarter pipes. 2 years ago at X Games, he took a nasty slam in this event, and he actually dislocated his hip. But it took several there in Minneapolis to actually get his hip into place. So it'd be hard to do something like that out of your memory. So I'm sure he's a little tentative on the reason.
He took a shot on it last year as well.
Yes, he did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so this would be the first time he got out of this event clean, and I think Peter Boone live to see another day.
Hey, called it. Self-preservation is the name of the game. It's a long season.
He's in hooligan.
Oh, that's right. He's hooligan tonight as well.
Yep, he ain't done yet. So is this guy.
All right, so Tyler Berriman back into the mix. He's currently sitting in the number 3 position. So basically how it works here in this opening round, 5 riders, top 3 automatically advance into the next round, and then the bottom 2 heights are going to get one more run at it each. So our last 3 guys to take their second runs here.
That was massive.
They're already in. These guys are already going to round 2.
That was a big one. That was much higher than his other one by my eye.
It's deceiving. We get the camera angle and it looks like it, but then you see it pop up on the monitor and you're like, oh.
We see the guy's right outside our door that's doing all the it's full on as precise as you will ever measure anything in your life. They've got like laser levels and all sorts of crazy things doing these measurements. I mean, it's not going to get any more precise.
Look at that shot right there. I mean,
beautiful.
There's my Christmas card. You got the Salt Lake in the background, traffic.
From your Nitro World game.
Traffic on I-80 out there. Hi, everybody. This is what I do in Utah. I send myself 10 stories into the air, however tall that is.
Yeah, how was
Good gravy.
How was your trip to the state of sport? Well, you're not going to believe this. I went above, let's see, 34, 35, 37. Yeah, that's a big one, 39.
39 feet 7 inches on attempt number 2. This is the opening round, by the way. We have 3 more rounds to go after this, but he's already knocking on the door of 40 feet right there.
If I can say anything about this, is that we had to get a taller height pole this year than last year. We already need a taller height pole for next year.
Corey Creed has proven that point, and Tyler Berriman's also making his case for that point as well. Look at this smile on his face. He's like, hey, you know what? We'll see you in round 2, Tyler.
Riding motorcycles, that's his element. That's exactly what Tyler is.
You're defending quarter pipe X Games gold medalist from this year.
Putting on a demo.
Finished 3rd in this event last year. Yep. He is hungry. He tasted the success in Minneapolis. He says, I want more. I was talking to him yesterday. He said, the party's not stopping after Minneapolis. I want more. I want to set some records. I want to win at Nitro World Games.
So he's got such good style when he does it. You almost see him take his body and try to put that bike flat. Watch when he's up there. Now he shifts a little his body to style, right? Look, he's Michael Laren putting that thing sideways, right? Little Simon Tabron, put your head through the, right there. That's a beautiful look from that trick. Style for miles. And again, I want to do one of those sound engineer things. We can get just the sound, because it's crazy. You hear the engine stall out, and it's just a free fall. It's peaceful, and then you hear the thunder of the crash. I mean, the aesthetics, and then the volume, and it's just such a cool. This whole event is so different for the sense.
It's definitely a couple of different contrasting sounds right there. 45 feet 11 inches.
Can't wait for that Christmas card.
45 feet 8 is what he did the first go around. Now he's bumped it up 3 inches. Remember, last year's winning height was 45 feet 2 inches. This is the opening round. He's already made it into round number 2.